What's up, Christina?
Good morning, Dr. John.
Good morning. What's up? You sound like you just woke up. What's happening?
No, I've been up.
No, I have been up. All right, so what's up?
I need help setting boundaries with my sister and the expectation of taking care of my niece and two nephews.
Okay. Tell me about it.
She was pregnant and had to move in with us because she was so high risk, and because of being high risk, she was unable to pick up my niece because my niece was still a toddler and her husband was at work. So she moved in with us.
Did husband move in too?
No, he stayed out where they were living, and my oldest nephew stayed with him. And then he randomly showed up on the door one day and said, I filed for divorce and I moved tomorrow to Michigan.
Oh, man. Yikes. Okay.
And it spinned all of our worlds up. But now it's going on like 3.5, 4 years.
Ooh, man. Okay. So your sister has lived with you for 3.5 or 4 years plus how many kids? 2, 3?
3.
3. Do you have your own kids?
No.
Okay.
Dating's not good these days.
You're living by yourself?
No, we live with my mom.
So all of y'all live with your mother?
Correct.
Okay. So you're not married?
No.
Okay. All right. What do you do for a living?
I cannot work because I'm on SSI.
How come?
I have 3 rare genetic diseases. And the main one I have to get weekly infusions for.
Okay. Is there no way to do any like work from home, customer service-y kind of things you can do from a computer?
If I was to, it's a good possibility that they would link my insurance, and without my infusions, I would be extremely weak within the second month, on the verge of being hospital bound.
So you just feel like you're kind of in a trap.
Correct.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I'm looking back to going to school for something easy.
Okay. I know if you're in the Savannah, Atlanta area, and I don't know how close they are, but I would sit down with a SSI specialist, not somebody who works for the government, but with a specialist. And there are attorneys who work specifically there that can help you navigate that will give you better information than the internet will.
Okay.
And it would be worth your money, like to pay for 1 hour with somebody that will just walk you through your particular situation and what each individual trigger means. And when I say trigger, meaning if you get this job making this money, what do you gain or what do you lose?
Okay.
There's a true and honest trap, and I've seen it time and time again, and it's just awful, where you get penalized for working. The problem is that's where we're not designed to sit at home, right? And you felt this.
Correct.
And we're designed to have purpose and to do something, however big or small it may be, but work towards something, especially something helping other people have good lives too. And when the system takes that purpose away from us, it makes our total life quality just tough, right?
Yes.
So I'm proud of you for going back to school. Before you do that, I would suggest you sit with somebody and say, okay, here's the actual reality. Because there's just a lot of rumors out there. I've shook my head. I couldn't believe that in some instances that the system was set up like it was. It was wild to me. But the fact that you got your SSI benefits, I know how hard they are to even get. They're just deny sometimes. And so I'm glad that tells me that you're actually working through some really significant challenges. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm sorry. So tell me, your sister, is she asking you, what is she asking you guys to do?
The three of us as a whole, all parent them in different ways, and we're working on that with our therapist. But even outside of that, if I take the kids outside and I come in, she expects me to give them a bath. And if I can't, then they can't go outside.
Yeah, that's completely unreasonable. They don't have three moms. They have one mom.
Correct. But she still sends them to me asking me permission from something they've asked her already. So I feel like I'm my mom.
Yeah, but that's the role you're taking on. So I know you called asking about boundaries. You have to be very clear with your sister. I'm going to go back to my aunt job, and you are the parent. You're the mother. And so I'm not going to respond to those type of questions. And it can't be your responsibility to take the kids unless she is being neglectful or abusive.
Correct. So where should I put myself at with helping, if any?
What, does she work outside the home?
No, she has epilepsy and has multiple seizures within a week.
Okay. Well, that changes things. If you're And I guess, is your mom helping too?
She works full time. She gets up at 2 a.m. and doesn't get off until 1:33.
Good gravy. That's a tough woman taking care of you guys. Does your sister have SSI too?
No, she keeps getting denied.
How does she eat? She getting alimony? Child support?
We are waiting on that. We've been waiting on it for the last year and a half.
Yeah, it's probably not going to come. There's a lot of deadbeat losers out there.
That's for sure.
So again, at some point, she's going to have to reckon with, this is the life I have, and is there a way that I can do something online, that I can work from home, that I can find some sort, and again, epilepsy is such a debilitating, challenging illness because it's all over the place, and it can be sporadic, it can be very rare, and it can be, sounds like hers is very often. And it's tough to even get to the bottom of it sometimes. But she's going to have to, at some point, figure out a way that she begins to wrap her head around it. Does that make sense?
Correct.
Because here's the hard truth. Your mom is not going to always be there.
I agree with you, and I've started to realize that more in the last 6 months after losing my father. And I'm grateful for every day, but I know once she goes, I will know what I can do, but I don't know what she would do with her and the kids.
Yeah. Have you and your sister, do y'all have a relationship where you can sit down and have this kind of hard conversation and say, okay, let's pretend mom passes away. What are you and I actually going to do? Because saying we can't do anything, it literally is not an option. And so let's start reverse engineering this and trying to figure out how we can nickel and dime our way to, maybe it's you work 6 hours and then I work 2 hours and we figure something out, because it may just be y'all two ride or die for a while.
Correct.
And if does she get laid up for 24 hours after a seizure, or is she up and at 'em?
It just depends on how bad it is.
Okay.
Most of the time she lays down for a few hours and then she's back up.
Okay. Is she still seeing a neurologist?
She actually goes back tomorrow.
Okay.
She hasn't been back in 2 years, so they're refusing to give her her medication.
Yeah, I can see that. Does she have something that tracks the seizures? Like an implant of some sort? Does she wear a tracking device?
No.
Okay. She may request one of those. And again, if she doesn't have insurance, that might be very, very challenging. But here's what I'm trying to do. Let's get as much real information.
Okay.
And if you have a good enough relationship with your sister that both of you who are struggling with some pretty debilitating illnesses can say, okay, there's going to come a day when it's just you and me. And let's pretend that, well, we just can't is not an option. Now, there are disabilities and exceptionalities that they just are. And they rely on very special care and all sorts of community support. But in this situation, let's pretend that's not the case. What would we actually do? What could we do? And as a part of that conversation, basically y'all are dreaming about the future. A future that's both scary. Hopefully there is some optimism there because you've mentioned like, I think I'm gonna go back to school. I'm gonna figure out something. Like the light's starting to come back on. And I love this. I read this recently from Nick Cave. Hope is not a neutral position, right? It's something you scratch and claw and go get. So this is the cards we've been dealt. What can be true in this world? And then here's the second part. I want you and your sister to begin to imagine a world where, okay, cool, we're going to co-parent these kids. When you're laid up, here's what we're going to do, but here's how we have to navigate this. And I want you to be honest about the challenges that you have.
Okay.
Is that fair? Because my guess is she says, well, the kids can't go outside then. You get frustrated. You take them out. And then you go ahead and do the bath. And there's those core conversations are never fully had. Or they're had when one of y'all is really mad.
Yes.
Instead of, all right, let's get away and we're going to have you and me, sister, we're going to have a planning retreat. Just for a few hours. We're going to go, breakfast can get expensive, so we're just going to go to a local park or to a coffee shop and get one cup of coffee each, and we're going to sit and we're going to map out what might be. And my hope is y'all could make some sisterly commitments to each other. Like, hey, we're in this thing together for the time being. And the cavalry doesn't appear that it's coming. Child support doesn't look like it's coming. We can keep suing him and keep calling and keep whatever, but it's not coming. Our health isn't just going to suddenly get better. So what can be true? Let's see if we can figure that out. And maybe the realization is we can't do this on our own. We're going to have to start researching care and what that might look like and on and on and on. But I think both of you could be well served with some great information. So look up a local SSI attorney in your area and call and say, I need to hire you for 1 hour to talk through some of these. I need to just get some facts, some truth about what is true and what is not true when it comes to insurance and care and benefits and work and purpose and all of those things all mushed together. And that way y'all can start making some decisions based on data. But when it comes to boundaries, here's the two important things. I want you to spend time listing out what you can, cannot, and will not do. That's number one. Number two is finding a time when that conversation can be had where you can actually be heard. And in the middle of an argument, when you're mad, when there's kids running around screaming, is not the time for that. So let's set aside some time and let's actually go over, here's what I need, here's what must be true. And if you start working from home, even a few hours, then you're going to need some quiet time. You won't be able to parent the kids. She's going to need to step up and be the parent of her kids, and vice versa. When she's having a seizure and she's laid out and you've committed to that, then cool, here's what will be true then. But let's sit down and let's map this stuff out. Let's get it written down on paper, and then let's get a special time that we have this conversation. I wish you guys the best, Christina. Thanks for your call. Man, y'all going through it. Y'all are going through it. Hope is not neutral. Let's scratch and claw and find some path in the darkness out of here.